This is Ken from Coffee Crafters, and I'm here with Karie Riley, whose job it is this week to make us more cold brew because we ran out and we drink a lot of it. It is really hot outside. This is record, right?
Yeah.
The whole time I've ever lived in this country. I'm not going to tell you how long that is because I'm old. But yeah, it's been really hot. So anyway, we thought we'd do a quick video on making cold brew. In the shop, we actually use this machine here. This is from Cold Brew Avenue, and they have quite a few different sizes of this. We have the 5.5 gallon one. They have a 15 gallon, a 30, and a 50 gallon. So if you want to make it big time, you can make it with that. A lot of you might be familiar with the Toddy Cold Brew Home machine. These work great too. One of the things we liked about this one is it's got a filter down inside that screens really well. Get in there, Bryce, you can see that. Their cold brew systems have a rubber seal around the outside and a really fine screen. And so with that, I'm going to let Karie describe our process for making cold brew. And we're going to make this. It's going to sit overnight, and then we can do a video tomorrow.
And then you'll have your cold brew.
And then I can take my cold brew home for the weekend. So
that's right.
All right, take it away, Karie.
Okay, so there are a lot of recipes out on the web as to how much beans versus how much water. So after doing some research, I think it was like 12 ounces per 1 gallon of water. I just did 1 pound per 1 gallon or so. It doesn't have to be super exact, and that's what I liked about it. So I usually do 3 pounds of coffee to, this time I have almost 4 gallons of water in here. So, so one thing you're going to want to do, of course, is sanitize all your equipment first, and make sure you have your coffee grounds, 3 pounds, ground really coarse, and then you're just going to add it to the water, and you're going to stir as you go. So hopefully I won't make too much of a mess.
I'll stir that for you, Karie.
Okay, you want to stir? Okay. So
that is ground really.
Yeah, it's ground really
large.
coarse.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we're just gonna pour that all in.
So the idea, Karie, is to just make sure that all of it is submerged, right?
Yeah, you want to wet all the grounds really nicely. It'll just take a little bit until they start to absorb some water.
That's working.
Yep. And like I said, the recipe doesn't have to be exact. It's concentrate, so that's what it's going to be when we filter it out. So you're going to lose a little bit of volume because of the grounds. So you just stir up all that yummy goodness and put the lid on it, and we have a shop fridge that has a nice big empty bottom area, and we set this in the shop fridge, and it is ready in the morning.
So Karie, what about the roasting and grinding? Did you let this rest, or do you put it right in there?
I believe you can just grind it right away and put it in there. I don't think it has to rest. This particular batch, we had some extra Costa Rica, so it did rest for a little bit. I ground it this morning, and we're using it now. So I don't think it makes a big difference, but we'll let you be the judge of it when you try it at home.
Cool. So we're going to stick the lid on this.
Yeah, and we're going to go
stick
put
it back in the refrigerator.
Yeah, and it has a nice temperature gauge. Don't usually have to use it because it is in the fridge overnight. It has a consistent temperature, and it's good to go.
Cool. So we'll finish this up tomorrow. All right, we're back for the fun part, which is actually draining this stuff off so we can start drinking it. And Karie's been out here working this morning, getting ready. And Karie, why don't you let them know what you did this morning to get ready to drain it off?
Well, we pulled this out of the fridge, and one of the first things I do is I take all the grounds out because the grounds settle down onto the wire filter. So I'm going to put that in my garden. And so I scoop all the grounds out that I can. That way it does flow a little bit faster when we're filling the bottles. So that's already done. And we're going to set this down here. We've actually sanitized the bottles already, got them ready for filling. And the next step, it comes with this great hose. So we're going to stick it on here. And I definitely recommend doing this over a sink because it fills, it stops, it kind of flows over. So I'm sure you'll see what I'm talking about very shortly.
And we've elevated this because we have a deep sink here, our triple sink. But if you're doing it at home, you could set it up on a stand or a bucket or something to get elevated so that it flows down in.
Yeah.
All right,
so,
go ahead and get started.
I'm going to start off with the growler just to start with. So I'm going to put the growler in here like this. And this has a nice little latch on it. You pull this back, and as you can see, it's starting. So it's flowing into the growler. Kind of hard to see these puppies, so.
And we bought all of these bottles at our local brew shop. So we bought cases of these, and Karie's going to do one of these when she's done with the growler. And we actually bought a manual capper and caps at the same brew shop, which was great. I looked this morning just to check the prices on these units, and as of this morning, they were having a sale, so they were like $340, but they're normally retail for the 5.5 gallon one is about $400, up to $1,300 for the 50 gallon system, which is a lot. I'd like to see one of those.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to see how full this is. It's a dark bottle. It's a dark bottle. So you kind of give a peek. It's right about, oh, there it is. It's right about there. So I'll just give it a little bit more.
I know there are other brands of these systems out there, so if anybody is using another brand of the cold brew system and they'd like to share that with us, we'll share it with our community so that they can have some more choices. We just picked this one out because when I was researching is one that came up. And again, one of the things I really liked about this was that filter system they have in there. It's got a rubber gasket you put down, and the rubber gasket is right above the flow area down here. So it doesn't leak. It's got a really fine screen, and I haven't seen that much sediment when I get to the bottom of my bottles, which is cool. So.
The very last bottle that I try to squeeze out all the cold brew out of this will have a little bit more sediment, but I don't want to toss that little bit of coffee.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, we drink it till the very bottom. So here's the growler, and so we're gonna fill one of these guys. I definitely use a funnel, and Ken, maybe you can operate this, pull this up and turn that. So we're gonna just give it a go. Oh, you have to pull this back. Yeah, it's a little locking mechanism.
There we go.
Okay, and so put this guy in there.
So this might be more of a two-person process when you're filling bottles.
You probably save more coffee that way, because when I'm by myself, I'm trying to like lift this, not spill, make sure. You can see it going in.
Obviously, if you were doing this with your coffee business, part of your business, you probably set a little bit more efficient thing up. We don't do this for a living. We do this for ourselves. So,
okay.
Ready?
Yeah. You got to pull that thing back. There you go.
Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, and Karie's going to show you how to bottle one of these.
Okay. So it's really easy. You just have to, have a good. So here's your caps. You can buy them by the bag. It just sits on top. This really cool little mechanism. I thought it was going to be harder than what it is. You just center it on there. It grabs the lip.
Cool.
And you're done.
Nice. All right, that's great. You can put your own labels on there. Yeah, that would be awesome. So anyway, it's hot. It's summertime. If you guys want to get into the cold brew thing, this is a great system to get started with. And I don't know, how many gallons does this yield when we're done? About 3 gallons?
Yeah, about 3, maybe a little bit less.
Because you get a lot of volume in there with the grounds, then you take a lot of that liquid back out. But anyway, we hope you guys found that interesting. Karie's going to finish bottling this up because it's Friday and all of us want to take that home for the weekend.
Yep.
And again, if you have any other cold brew systems that you're using and you'd like to share that with us so we can share it with the community, we would appreciate it and we'll pass it on.